Well, hello, welcome to another video. And in this video, we'll talk about GitHub Actions. Well, what are GitHub Actions? GitHub Action is a feature of GitHub that lets you create some actions to automate your development workflow. Now, what is this workflow? Anything that is related to building your code, testing your code, or deploying it to a site, something like that. Okay, and these actions are triggered by some events. What are those events? Are like pushing your code to the GitHub, creating a pull request, something like that. Okay, now let's see how we can create it. For that, you need a repository. I have a repository here that is TDD, and if you know about TDD, it's test driven development. Now, what a test driven development is a whole different story. I may cover this topic in future video, so to get notified, subscribe and hit that bell icon. Now, that's enough of this chit chat. Let's get into how to create your GitHub actions. Now, first of all, you need a repository, as I said. This repository is a basic one. It has some tests that I'm going to run, and these are some functions on which the tests are written. Now, what I want is an action. Whenever I push a code, these tests should run, or whichever test I write here. So every test that are written here should run when I push a code. This is what I want, and I want to automate it. So for that, we are going to write GitHub Actions. How are you going to do? First of all, you create a folder, and it is a mandatory step because this is where the GitHub will look into, like where you have defined your GitHub Actions and what steps it need to do. Okay, so the folder name should be GitHub, and inside this folder again you need another folder that are workflows, and inside these inside this workflows folder you will be creating your file. You can name it anything. I'm going to name it main.yaml. Well, YAML is what GitHub recommends to writing, because here we're going to define what kind of steps it need to do to perform the action. Okay, so it will have a name, the name of the action. I'm going to name it run tests, and when it is going to run. So whenever I push the code, that is on push, and on the branches main. So it is going to run on every push of the command and on the branch main. Okay, now what we are going to do is define jobs. What are jobs? The jobs are multi-step. That means it can have multiple steps. Some common steps are checking out your repository and setting up your environment for whatever the project is about. So here we have a project that is made on Node.js, so we are going to set up a Node environment. We'll see how we're going to do that. So let's get going. Now, you can name the job anything. I'm going to name it testing, and here we are going to specify on which OS it is going to run on. So runs on, I'm going to use Ubuntu, because why not, and you can use anything you want, but I'm using Ubuntu latest. Any distro that you want, that is your call. Now here we're going to define the steps, like what steps it should run in this job. The first one is the basic, checking out your code, and the users tag here tells GitHub Actions to use a particular action for doing this kind of stuff. Since we have already an action that checks out our repository in the distro we have defined above, so we don't have to write everything, reinvent the wheel. Here we are just using any third-party action. Okay, so that is that. Again, we're going to use another GitHub action for setting up node environment. Now the name of that action is setup node @v3. Now these are two actions that we need. The basic one to set up our environment and check out our repository into the OS distro that we have defined above. Now comes the major part that you want to do. Like what I want to do here, I want to run the test whenever I push a code. So for that I need to install all the dependencies of this project. For that I'm going to run a command that is npm run install, but before that we're going to name this step, because why not? Okay, so here I'm going to name it install dependency. Now as you can see, I've used the name tag for naming it, and again one tab with no hyphen. Here we'll specify run, and this is where you will type your command. Again another step, the last one, that is run tests. Now the command would be npm run tests. So this is all we need to write to define what our action is. This is a very basic one. I hope you get an understanding. Let's see how it works. I'll push the code, git commit, action added. There were 2 D's, but not to worry. Git push. Now let's see how our code looks like. I hit a refresh, and as you can see we have a .github folder with another workflow, and as you can see we have a yellowish dot here, and what this specifies or signifies is our GitHub action is running. We have set up a GitHub action and it is in a running mode. Let's see what went wrong. I hope there's a typo here, npm run test. Okay, so we don't have a script named test, instead it's just test. So here we got an idea of if something bad happens, it will tell you what is wrong with your code, so later you can debug it. Again we're going to commit our code, fixed action, and git push. Whenever you push a code, a new action or workflow job runs. As you can see, I have multiple jobs run in the previous runs, but here we have our latest one that we just wrote. As you can see, this time the job completed successfully. This is how you'll create a GitHub action. If you want to know anything about it, let me know in the comment section, and if you have created any GitHub action, I would love to say it. Please share in the comments below. Till then, I'll see you in the next video. If you like the video, smash the like button and subscribe for more of these content. Bye bye.